welcome back to Tactics Talk with Guido. I've got a replay sent in here from superBOO from the clan Shift, SHFT, driving his T49 Tier 9 American scout tank. And he's in a 357, he's loaded into Redshire. And as you can see right here, he is on LT-15, the Aggressive Recon Specialist. He needs 4,000 damage caused and assist, and he's going to get that here on Redshire. He is headed over to one of my favorite starting points, one of my favorite starting bushes, and it is a great passive scouting location. It's also actually pretty good for early shots, depending on what the enemy does, so we'll see what he does. As he approaches it, he kind of heads straight for this bush. Now, superBOO is one of our younger tankers out there. He is, I'm sure, the minimum age for playing the game, which makes me laugh that that's actually a thing, but apparently it is. In any event, he is, and here he goes, superBOO. Now, because I critique what I'm looking at every time, we can tell that superBOO has the rear end of his tank sticking out, which is fine for shooting forward, but he's actually not really 15 feet behind the bushes, although it might be slightly close. I don't think he is. And he is sticking out, so anybody who trolls around in this area, unlikely but possible, YOLO scout coming up the middle, or even somebody over here getting a little too close, might get seen. The other thing he needs to watch out for is sometimes guys will get up high right here. This is probably not quite where they can see him, but again, sticking out or behind or away from this rock is not really a great idea. So I had him moved up just a little bit there, superBOO. We'll see what Super is doing. He's looking over here and he moves forward. And there is a scout seen over to the left of him, so he says, oh, I got a light, so I'm going to look this way. And I've got a shot. No, I don't. And I'm going to go back, and there goes the JT. So this is a problem that you will find in this spot, that if you don't kind of commit to that northbound look right there, guys will get right by you. So you can light them from there, but it's going to be a fleeting shot. And if you're not zoomed in and ready, you're going to miss it. And he actually ends up missing a couple. Those are the shots you can take and probably not get spotted unless you have somebody being a scout of theirs somewhere up in here, one of these bushes, or poking up over the top. There's a couple places they can be just high enough, and if you shoot and there's a scout or medium there, you will get lit. So be prepared to sneak back around that rock. And somebody just actually blind fired into his spot because they know that people sit there. And so I will say at this point, his choice to be slightly out of position actually worked out, because I would imagine that shot would have nailed him. Take that shot. Oh, don't know why you didn't take that shot. It may be that you're trying to stay unspotted. And now we're swinging back. Oh, and we missed that guy. So you can see what I'm talking about as far as not being pre-zoomed in. There goes the 1390 running across and being careful. Now, he doesn't have a whole lot of help to his right. Over on the east side, there's a low and an object, and I believe one other tank. And there's quite a large contingent headed that way. He's going to take a shot in there. And then he skedaddles out of the cover right there. Now, I wouldn't have done that, Super. When you get back up there, we'll talk about it in a minute. There's a better way to do that, and then we're going to come over here and kind of get out in the open, and this works out a bit for you. You're going to get some shots. There's one miss. Kind of watch for him, but I think if you'd have just swung back around and got into that bush, you'd have been a lot better off right there. But I will say one thing he is doing, he's dancing on the edge of his to-be-spotted range. So if that is actually what's going through your mind, then well done. And he'll move up a little bit here. Oh, yep, there we go. And this ISU gets rather pummeled. One thing I do talk about here, Super, is look around a little bit in between shots. There you go. Kind of see what's going on. And we'll zoom right back in. Take that shot. And oh, that one missed. So only a couple misses so far. Nicely done. You looked for something else. Came right back when you were reloaded. Maybe the leopard. Nope. And the ISU takes one more shot, and then he goes away. So over on your right side, or behind you really, on the east side of the map, things are not going well for your team. It looks like they're getting pushed a bit. And you really just sort of look in there and you blind shoot. I probably would have zoomed out and looked for a different target right there. There's so many lit. Looking back over, holy cow, there's another one. And somebody shoots over there. And I think they're still shooting into your bush because their guys are getting hit from across here. So somebody decided that there must be somebody up near this bush shooting my ISU. And you see the leopard, and then, wow, that one goes in. This guy's trying to get away. He's actually going to take another hit. Ouch. And this one's probably the best of them all. Just the side of his turret. I'm going to shoot it. Holy cow. Takes another hit. And another hit. Holy macaroni. I don't know if I would ever be able to make those shots. And we, again, break cover. So I don't really think you necessarily needed to, except that behind you, everybody died. So probably a good idea to skedaddle. One thing I would be doing here, Super, is as I left, I would be looking behind me to see if I saw any trees come down or any tanks, instead of just kind of drive straight forward. And this is something newer players and players that are starting to get better have to try to learn, to be able to drive and look around a little bit more. And so you get spotted right there. Ow. 268 hammers you in the patuckus right there. And we're sort of stuck in these buildings. This is sort of no man's land for a scout, and that they're just too close. So you're not really going to get any standoff or be able to hide in a bush that close to them. They'll proxy light you if they come up on the other side of a building, and then you're really in trouble. So I think you're doing the right thing. Get away, look for some more bushes up here, bush up, and start figuring out how to get shots on these guys. There you go. So the Oho's coming across. That's one of the problems right there with being too far back, is if you can't actually see through the bush yourself, it's very hard to see if they're going to be behind buildings for a long time or if you might get a shot in the near future. But it does keep you from being spotted. We've got an AT-15 on our left up in the north and a Leopard, and then a whole crowd of them, most of what's left. Now, try not to run into your own TDs right there. And now we're going to kind of move up and forward. So I like the aggression here. You're trying to get some lights and get some shots. I'd just go ahead and take that shot, man. Looks like you're maybe backing up, trying to preserve a little bit of camo from the bush. I don't think he's going to see you right there. There's so many things between you. Just hammer him and take him down. There you go. Nicely done. And we are up to 4,000. So he's got that done. Now it's just a matter of figuring out how to get the win. Swinging back around. Still at 268 and JT hanging out back there. 18 a Leopard, and there's actually a Pershing who has been camping in that corner, I believe, for most of the game. Now the Leopard's getting aggressive. Now I would have got in there and helped this 263 take down this Leopard. There is a time when you've got to take a bit of a chance, and what's going to happen is your 263 is going to get rocked by those two TDs over there, and you're running into the 40T. And a lot of that has to do with the way you're driving, is you're just right over the top of your tank. To zoom out just a little bit. You're going to spend a lot of time messing around right here. I would have just gone around behind him. You're going to eventually do that, because what you're asking for right here is to get whacked by the JT. My assumption is that JT was busy shooting at the other guys up on the ridge and just hadn't had time to get to you. There's also two artillery. This is a nice jump. Ooh, somehow doesn't damage himself. Good on you. And you're going to do what a scout can do against a TD, just come right around and nuke him. Heading down here, and holy cow, he missed, and then this guy's trying to get away, and holy cow, you hit. Nicely done. You don't hit any shots you don't take, so there you go. We've got an AT. Now he's on the back side. That's another thing you need to learn. You try to zoom in there and look for a shot, but if you'd have looked at the mini-map, you'd have noticed he was actually on the back side of that hill, so there was a lot of hill between you and him. Something I didn't mention to begin with is that Super is using the gun that I prefer on the T49, which is the 90mm. That's the new gun, the newest gun. That thing used to be just pretty much all about the big 152 or 150, whatever that big derp gun is, but now it's got that nice usable 90mm, and it really can tear things up. Makes it a really nice traditional scout instead of the mobile KV2. One thing I would think about there, Super, is instead of coming up to the bottom edge, I'd have gone up to the top, take the high ground. You can look down. In fact, from up here, you can get some shots down into these low areas here when they get lit up. Or just push in like you were doing. But going to the low area on the side was probably not going to get you any quick shots. I'm going to come around here and find an artillery. As we pop in, there's one that's not lit, so he must be around here somewhere. He's probably in this hole that's... You're just coming up on, yeah, because he hadn't been lit by the T-54, so more than likely he's sitting there. He ends up getting nuked, and off we go. I would push right in on this Pershing. You have enough hit points to take some shots from him. Once you open up the shots, because he shot you, then the T-54 can come in and work him over, but the guys up on the hill end up killing him, and that's why I go up on the hill. You get shots on guys that are trying to do what he's doing right there. So they end up winning 2,800 damage, 2,500 spotting, well more than he needed on the 4,000 for the aggressive recon specialist. Lots of little things in there you could probably improve on, but the basic mechanics of what you're trying to do with the scout are pretty solid. Pretty good grasp of what to do with bushes, where to go, how to fall back if need be, keep guys lit, all those things that you have to do to be good with the scout. So nice job there, Super. Guys, I hope you like what you saw. I hope you learned something. If you did, make sure you subscribe. Send in those videos if you got something interesting you want me to see. And as always, we will see you.